Hello everybody, this is Sherry with Palette to Palette, and I thought I'd come on today, do a little painting, and show you how to assemble our cake stand. Now I don't know what color this paint is. I know it's an off-white, and let me put the lid on real quick. It's an off-white, but it was a color sample, bare color sample that I got at Home Depot, and it was 50 cents, and it's an off-white, so in a flat. So I'm going to use it to paint this cake stand because it's kind of an antique-y white. So I'm gonna pour a little bit of that onto my plastic and paint with a baby wipe, see what happens. So these will be the legs. I'm going to paint both sides of all of this, and I'm just going to do it all with a baby wipe so it kind of looks like a stain and it has a whitewash look. And then we're going to put it together. But I do want to say that I am working with a K40 right now that only has an 8 by 12 bed area, and this design is actually for 1/4 inch material and it's 9 inch. So I did shrink it down a little bit as far as the 9 inch, the round part, but it still has the 1/4 inch slots in it, and I only had 1/8 inch wood. So I'm gonna go with it, and it'll stand up fine. I'm not worried about that. But the file is designed for 1/4 inch wood, and it's 9 inches around, and it has a lip around it, and this is part of the stand. I have one of these that I made at my main studio on the big laser. So I have the big laser. I call it, it's an OM Tech, what is it? An AF 2435 80 watt. And that's the one that I use mainly. But when I'm not at home and we're at our alternate studio, I do have a K40 Plus from OM Tech that I use. And I make a lot of smaller things with that. I do ornaments and earring files, hair clips, that, you know, the hair claw clips that you can put a design on the back of that hair clip. I do a lot of those too. So the K40 is a great laser. The K40 Plus is a great laser for doing stuff like that, especially if you're going to stick to, you know, smaller things. But the larger items that I do, door hangers and things like that, I usually do at about 14 inches. So that's what I like the bigger laser for. If you're doing hat patches, or stocking patches, or stocking tags, ornaments, things like that, you can do all that right on the K40. And they're pretty inexpensive. You can get into a K40 for about $600. Now this is going to be glued onto this, so I don't have to do both sides of this trim, so I'm not going to do that. And I actually don't have to do both sides of these either, because one's going to be at the bottom of the stand and one's going to be at the top of the stand. So I'll only glue it where you can see where I've painted. And then probably want to do both sides of this. Just so if we, you know, pick it up and look at it, you're not seeing an unfinished portion. But let's see how that goes. My wood split a little bit right here when I was cutting. But we'll see how that looks after we get it all painted. Now, if you're really going to put a cake on this, so this can be a riser, a plant stand, a cake stand, you know, anything like that. But, you know, this is wood, this is paint. So if you're really going to put food on it, you put a layer of parchment paper or you know, saran wrap or something in between the paint and the food. I'm not sure if I need to say that or not, but I feel more comfortable saying it than not. So I'm just painting it, and then we're going to glue it. Excuse me. I don't know where that came from. All right, let's see. Okay. Going to paint this side as well. Baby wipe is still wet, so I'm not worried about that. So when you paint with a baby wipe, it comes out kind of like stain because it mixes with the moisture in the baby wipe. So that's why I like to use baby wipes. I like that stained look. That's my preference. You can paint with a paintbrush. You can paint with a makeup sponge. You can paint with the baby wipe. You can probably even do a wet, damp paper towel or napkin, although I think you might get a lot of the paper pilling. I've never tried it, so I'm not sure. Notice I'm dabbing off so I don't have big clumps on here, because when I'm going across the edges, I don't want to get a big pool of paint on the edge. It's going to drip down. So I put minimal paint on the baby wipe, and then I just spread it out really good. Okay. I'm happy with that, and I think this is going to be my top because of the wood that peeled back here. There it is. It peeled when I was cutting it, so that'll be the bottom, so we won't see that. So I can still use this piece. And I need to do the back sides of these. Then I will show you how easy it is to put this together. Oops. See, I got paint all on the edge of that one. I think I got more paint on me than I did on any of this wood. And I'll try to smooth it all in so it's going the same direction. And I'm going to do all of the edges on this. I don't need to do the bottom or the top, just the sides. My whole finger is paint. If you just got a manicure, you might want to wear gloves. Protect your manicure. All right, so now I got when I was painting the edges, I got more dabs on the side, so I'm just smoothing it out. I'm going to do the same thing on this one. I probably have enough paint on here to do it. I used about a $50 size pool of paint, to do all of this. So you don't need a lot. And I actually have more that I can put back in the container. And I didn't think that was a very bad deal for 50 cents. I got a couple colors that were mistinted. Every time I go in Home Depot, every time hubby says he's going to Home Depot, I'm like, oh, I'll go with you. And that's where I go, is over by the paint counter. And I just check to see if there's any mistinted sample paints over there. And they're 50 cents and snag them up. Okay, I'm going to do the other side. Okay, so now remember, when we're putting this together, the file is actually for 9 inches around, and for 1/4 inch wood. I unfortunately cut mine a little smaller because, oh, I need to go around the edge of that. I forgot. Both of these, actually. Mine is smaller because I'm using a different laser, and my bed size is small. So I'm going to go around here and just put a little bit of paint on this so it shows that it's, I don't know, it looks kind of antique, farmhousey, rustic. It's lightening up that brown color that you get when you use the laser. So it's just lightening that up a little. Oh my goodness, I feel like I've gone around 3 times. The other thing about doing paint this light and with a baby wipe is it dries really quick because you're not doing a heavy coat. You're just doing a light coat. So, I mean, it dries pretty quickly. You'll see me putting stuff on top of something that I just painted, and it's pretty dry. So we're just going to finish going around this one, which is the top plate. Now, if I was more careful when I was going around this part and I didn't get white all over the edges, then I probably would have left these with the brown, because I like the way that the brown contrasts with the off-white for farmhousey rustic look. And I probably would have left it like that, but it looked like it needed to be finished off, so that's why we did that. And see, this one looks okay because I was a little neater doing that, so I'm going to leave this like that. And try to get some of this paint off of me. And then I'll get my wood glue out. So this, I just use wood glue for this. Let me put this back. Got myself more paint. Wow. Maybe I'll have to go with white fingernails this week. So the first thing I'm going to do is glue this onto here, because I know that that goes there, and it's a trim piece, a decorative trim piece to go on that. So I've got my wood glue here, which I'm going to use with a sponge today instead of my hands. My hands are already a mess. So I'm just gonna put some glue on my plastic. So this is just a plastic bag that I saved, and I pour my paint out on it, I use it, and then when I'm done, I can just throw this little bag out. It's just a little clear plastic bag, and I can just throw it right away when I'm done. So I'm going to get some glue on there, and I'm going to put glue on the back of this. And we're almost all the way around. So I just stuck my finger in glue. And now we will put it onto here, lining it up. And making sure that it's lined up all the way around. And the other thing that I do, I use clothespins for clamps. When you get to two layers of 1/4 inch or 4 layers of 1/8 inch, you can use these. If you get more than that, then they tend not to work. But I just put the clothespins right on the edge. And it doesn't take very long for the wood glue to dry either. This one's offset a little bit right there. Just gonna fix it. And then put another clip on it. And one more over here. All right, so I'm gonna set that there like that. I'm going to turn it upside down because we're going to glue this onto here. Okay, so we're going to put some paint or some glue. We're not painting now, we're gluing. Putting some glue on the back of this, and I'm centering this in here. I'm just eyeballing it. And now this is where these come in handy. So after we get that done, you can put these together. They don't need to be glued together, but you're going to put glue inside of the X and then glue that into it. And then on the bottom side, this gets glued to the bottom of that. So I can just pour it right in from here. So I'm going to put some glue in here. And put that. Why is it wobbling? All right, so now that needs to set for a little while. After that sets, you can put glue in here so that it's on the edges here, and adhere this right to there. This will just give it a little more space to sit on the table. You don't need to do that. You can also just leave this piece out because it will stand up with those. Okay, so either way, and this is what it's going to look like when it's all glued together and holding tight. Okay, so you can use this for a plant stand, or cupcakes, or part of a tiered tray, just, you know, some kind of riser on your bookshelf that's holding up a candle, a vase, anything like that. So it will stand like that on its own without this other decorative piece on the bottom as well. If you want that decorative piece on the bottom, you'll just glue it. You'll glue the legs into that like that. Okay? Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to try to do more and more videos. We'll talk soon. Bye.